Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the most overpowered Rafa build in Borderlands 4. Now this is even more updated as people are talking about how it's unfortunate that with Rafa it becomes a little bit hard to aim with his setup. This can get 499.9% bonus gun damage. It's absurd. We also get a nice plus 100% damage dealt, plus 40% kinetic damage, and our skill damage is plus 277%. And you saw it there, we absolutely shredded the boss really quickly. This is because they updated Soltado to now actually work if we have a class mod that gives us a point. This will give us double overdrive bonuses when we get a kill, which is insane how much damage we get, because this is doubling the Temerario damage that we're getting. And Temerario is actually really tough because it gives you minus gun handling, but we're going to solve that by also going into the blue skills tree. I was building more around Ricochet last time. I think it's actually better to go this way because Centro will actually help with the gun handling a lot, and we can get our fire rate going really high using this build. And the higher the fire rate is great because we get infinite ammo, so we can dish out so much damage. And we don't even need to spec into gun damage to get that boost to 500% gun extra damage, because we can just go into fire rate here to shoot it even faster. I want to thank all the comments that I got, because I was going all in Temerario. It actually makes it really hard to aim, and there's some people that are watching me on stream. It's so much better if we go into the Centro here. The best part about this build is it actually comes online really early. So from levels 1, you could spec into City here if you're leveling, but it's actually better later on to get the increased fire rate. This also applies to our Peacebreaker cannons, which is perfect. This takes us to our best augment, actually, with Bullet Buddy Deluxe. It's by far the best, although Instinto is actually nice because you can get critical hit chance, which then can proc up some extra abilities, but I think the Bullet Buddy Deluxe is better, as you saw there. This can also give us bonus incendiary damage on our Peacebreaker cannons as well. But once we get down to here, the best choice is Herga here, which whenever we critically hit an enemy, we get our action skill duration restored. So this can keep us in our form even longer. This is just one of the best choices. Now, we do want to take the Maestro here, giving us increased skill damage, and skill damage is applied to Peacebreaker cannons and most things that are labeled orange in their text. So this is a really powerful ability. This is really good. Now, there's a couple options. We can go with the Al Valiente, which will increase our damage from all sources when our shield is full. We could also go with the ability to get our action skill to replenish our shield, but I think it's best to go with this just for the extra slight bit of damage. Now, last time I went into the left-hand skill tree. I actually think it's better now to go into the right-hand skill tree. We're going to take Barrage. Now, previously, Barrage wasn't actually doing a whole lot of anything. Increase our splash damage while Overdrive is active. And the great thing about this is our Overdrive skills can increase, because this is an Overdrive skill. So once we get Temerario there, or once we get down to Soltado there, it's actually boosting this up a lot. And this Capstone actually deals explosion splash damage, so it's perfect. Once we get down here, we're going to then put points into Temerario. So this will give us increased gun damage. At 5 points is 5% per second, and this has 10 stacks max, so 50% extra gun damage, and then our gun handling goes down. But it's as it is an overdrive skill, this is further enhanced. Anything that says overdrive skill will get benefits from this in our class mod. So ideally, we could get this to like a plus 10. That would be crazy, getting a massive boost to our damage. But you saw there, we don't even need that. We get up to plus 500% gun damage, no problem. This then lets us put another point in Soltado. You want the class mod that's going to head points into this. This then takes our overdrive bonuses plus 150% when we get a kill. This is pretty crazy. It also takes us down to our Capstone with volatile hollow points. This replaces rockets that deal splash damage. It's just nice for a bit of extra damage because they're going to be shooting those rockets really quickly when we go into the other skill trees to get more fire rate. We'll also then take the Thrill. This is also from the class mod, which is great because it's an overdrive skill. So we get an increased fire rate, which is increased even further when overdrive is active. So again, this is an overdrive skill that's going to further increase, and that's why our fire rate gets really crazy when we're in our overdrive state. And at this point, I think it's probably best just to go with the increased reload speed, as that just basically translates to direct DPS. The less hardest here is really good because this can give us ammo regeneration, and it is an overdrive skill, so this can actually be pretty crazy too, but we don't really need to worry too much about ammo. Reload speed is good outside of when we're in our overdrive state, so it really depends. It's kind of the tie between those two. But then this takes us down to our Centro. I really like the first impressions with the Hot Slugger, but this is great because this is an overdrive skill too. So we get increased gun handling and action skill handling whenever overdrive is active. And this is greater to bonus that the longer we're in our overdrive. Why this is so important is the gun handling boosts come back and offset the gun handling decrease that we get from Temerario there. So, and this will scale. So it actually keeps our cursor roughly the same here with 7 points to that and 5 points here. This is perfect. It's actually really useful to have it at this point. It'll make this build a lot easier. Now, I like the other build because it felt extremely strong if you have a Ricochet setup. I think this one's better just for general purposes. Now, we can come on down here. It's nice to get the gun damage increase here. I think this will scale really well at the level cap increase. We're going to go with Jacques. So whenever we damage an enemy with a skill, we get a stack of Jacques. For every stack of Jacques, we get increased overdrive bonuses. Whenever overdrive ends, we lose all stacks. So this is where our overdrive benefits are getting ridiculous because it's giving us plus 2.5% overdrive bonuses. And this ends up making the damage actually pretty crazy compared to the other one, which is more focused on like ricochet setup. Absolutely nuts. You can go ahead here and take Mate, which will give you your action skill cooldown, but we can get our action skill back pretty quickly. I'd actually prefer going with Deadline because again, this is another overdrive skill. We get increased fire rate, increased reload speed while overdrive is active. So that's 9% fire rate. That's getting increased even further because our overdrive benefits are just going to continue to further increase this quite a bit. When the level cap increases, this is going to be a good point to continue on with. And then we could even take the per my last, which can double it or make your action skill damage twice on enemies, which is really crazy. But yeah, Soltado being buffed is such a massive change. Now, we definitely want to have now with caffeine specialization here, reducing action skill cooldown when we use a Repkit. This is great just to get back into our Bullet Buddy Deluxe again. Riddle you this, giving us increased gun damage. You don't even really need this one per se, but it's decent. It's just going to help out when we're not in our overdrive. I am a gun. We'll then add our bonuses to gun damage onto our action skill, which is absolutely crazy. We can also do some fun stuff because we can add benefits to our ordnance damage. And the crazy thing is we get that plus 500% gun damage. That's 250% bonus ordnance damage. So our ordnance is hit way harder. So you could go with that. I really like the, I also like the honed mind because this gives our action skill critical hit chance. But it's probably better for us to go and put on the full spectrum arsenal there to get extra gun damage, which again stacks really high. Now, what we're going to want for overall items. Now, the Dancer class mod is the most optimal here. This one has increased action skill cooldown rate and kinetic damage. Overdrive bonuses are increased by 100%, and overdrive ends whenever action skill ends. So that's really important. Two huge benefits because we get more overdrive benefits, but also we're going to be able to stay in our overdrive instead of just like the 8-9 seconds. We're going to stay in that much longer. The best skill rolls I would like more into Temerario, but you at least want 1 point into Soltado. Again, 5 into there would be really nice. We also get down to the green skill tree, the sustainable energy, which gives us health regeneration, and this is an overdrive skill, so it's actually going to scale up crazy once we get to later. Get a little bit later into overdrive. You can also get points into the thrill, which also be pretty good because it increases our fire rate as an overdrive skill, very beneficial. The dancer is really just the best. There is the instigator class mod, which will give you increased damage when you aim against a target, but that's not even as good as this. The dancer just got a huge buff. Now, Watch for Dinner is amazing because when we get an overshield, we can then also do 25% bonus shock damage. So that 500% gun damage is then taken a bonus to shock damage. Crazy. If you want to go even further, Protean Cell is even better. It's really crazy, 40% bonus shock damage. If you're mobbing, the Fireworks is great, and the Timekeeper's New Shield's good too, because we got pretty decent ways of surviving there, and life regeneration when we're in overdrive, but I do think Watch for Nerds by far, this is just one of the best shields general. Now, it really comes down to what we want to use for our ordnance, or for our weapons here for our enhancement. I got a Daedalus one here, which is going to give us increased fire rate per bullet fired for 50 stacks, so plus 50% fire rate. This is crazy, which resets on reload. I think this is by far the best choice because the accelerator here works with the bod. And what's crazy about that is 50% increase fire rate is nuts because we got plus 500% gun damage as well. Yeah, it becomes crazy. And then guns with Daedalus parts get a plus 25% damage based on the amount of spare ammo for the currently equipped gun. So yeah, this is a Daedalus part and it's going to have its full ammo. So pretty crazy. Also gun damage plus 25% and gun critical hit damage. Really good roll there. This is one of the best items that I got in all of Borderlands. So I'm really happy with that one, as it's much better than my other rolls here. I had someone say that someone gave this to me and I got it lucky. I have many others that I've used in builds that people tear me apart for not being very good. Like this one doesn't have good rolls as well, but I have the bounce pass. So yeah, this one was like the god roll for it. I do have the Scully grenade on here. Critical hit knife's good too, but this one's really powerful. Got a buff recently and it damage is crazy. The waterfall grenade works too, and if you want to use a heavy ordnance, it can be pretty fun too. I also have the triple bypass with amp, although it's probably best to use one that if you can get a triple bypass, the speed is really funny because we move insanely fast with this. But it's probably best to use the leech if we're using the Timekeeper's New Shield because that 30% life steal is really crazy on this build due to how much damage we output. Yeah, the leech is really nuts because we're doing a lot of damage, but the speed is really funny, so I'm going to show it. Now, the bot is the best weapon. Again, with this enhancement, it all ties together because we're getting an increased fire rate, an insane amount, infinite ammo, and the Torg Lice and Stickies, they increase the damage by 3% per shot, which is actually scaling up because we're shooting faster and faster the more we go. And that's 5 of them that land per shot. So it's 15% per round fired, and we go shoot really quickly. This will delete any boss in Ultimate Vault Hunter 5. It's absolutely absurd. I also like the Wombo combo in here, especially a shock one to go through shields. It's just a really powerful weapon in general. The TK's Wave, I like this better with the other build that I posted, but it's still a good weapon, especially if you get one with the Ripper parts and go into Temerario. You can shoot this really quickly. Lucian's flank's okay, but the recoil is a little bit nuts. You can also use a linebacker because it still bounce around. The Queen's Rest pistol is also quite nice. Kickballer if you want to get yourself knocked out. The 7 Sense pistol is another good option I'm going to recommend. It's actually really powerful, especially if you can get one with a that automatically fires. Honestly, just a lot of bods work well too. So I like the bod on here. It's one of the best weapons in the game for good reason. We're going to throw on the Queen's Rest too, though. So when it comes to fighting, you literally just want to run in there and activate your Bullet Buddy Deluxe. As you can see here, this is not the most optimized. This weapon was better on the other build, but the damage output from it is pretty crazy. And you can see there, we knocked him down. Once I ran out of bullets, or once I ran out of the Bullet Buddy Deluxe, we didn't have the pistol anymore. I just missed it, but we did have our gun damage up extremely high. And here's what it's going to look like on this is the Wombo combo here. Pretty crazy because it's going to start shooting the rockets out like that, like nuts, and then we can go ahead with throwing out grenades. Fortunately, that enemy just walked in front of me to blow that up. But yeah, we're still got our overdrive there, being able to help out. And our movement speed is pretty high here, but we can further enhance that by going ahead with this here. And what's great about having a really high movement speed is the enemies have a really hard time tracking you, especially if they have like a rocket type attack, because we can just kind of strafe like that. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But unfortunately, the best weapon for this will be the bod, because again, with all the weapons and enhancements and buffs that I got, this is going to delete the boss's health bar faster than any other. Once you reload there, I actually got myself caught. So again, yeah, don't get too close whenever you use that, because it's going to hit really hard. And yeah, you saw there the boss's health bar disappeared immediately. I don't even know if I would have got my overdrive benefits built up here, but you can always check. Yeah, you did. So we basically go into your skills here and press Y. 500% extra gun damage, and we got our gun boasts even higher. This is absolutely absurd. Very strong. Doesn't have the aim penalty that the other build has, but it's less good when we're ricocheting. But this build's going to scale extremely well once we get the DLC. So yeah, you can also add in the Gadgets Ahoy or the Get Out of Jail Free card to get your action skill back a little bit quicker for firmware. Pretty powerful build overall. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you all in the next video.